On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at the 2021 Trek Checkpoint ALR 5. This is the top level version of the aluminum frame of the Trek Checkpoint lineup, which is their performance gravel bike. So in this video, we're going to go into some of the features and designs of this 2021 Trek ALR 5, as well as we'll find out exactly what this bike weighs. So while we check it out, please consider hitting the subscribe button if you enjoy the content, as well as be sure to hit that thumbs up, which lets me know you enjoy the video. So as we check out this bike, the ALR 5 is definitely a good looking bike. So it's been in Trek's lineup for quite some time, and basically what this bike is their performance version of a gravel bike. So in Trek's lineup, they've got the Trek Domani, which is their endurance bike, but it still has a pretty fair amount of capability off-road with large tire clearance up to 38C. So to take the off-road capabilities even further, Trek has made the Checkpoint lineup, which comes stock with 40C tires, but you can even level up all the way to 700 by 45C. The bike also has a slightly longer reach than a Domani would, and a little bit lower stack, so it puts you in a more performance position. So it's a great choice if you were looking for something to be able to do a gravel race with, but it's not so aggressive that you couldn't take it on long road rides by switching out to some thinner tires. Now, checking out the bike, the ALR 5 is an aluminum frame. It's going to have internal cable routing, mostly smoothed out welds, makes for a really nice look to it, and it's going to be what they call their Alpha 300 series aluminum. So the 300 series aluminum has a tapered 1.1 to 1.5 head tube on it. It's going to have that 300 series aluminum, but it's also going to come with an OCLV carbon fiber fork. So that's going to help smooth out some of the vibrations out on the road with that carbon fork, but it's also going to still have rack and fender mounts to the bike. You've got all sorts of options for carrying gear. You've got a top tube bag, several options on the down tube to be able to set up frame bags, water bottle cages, along with the rack and fender mounts in the back. It's going to have a sliding dropout. And what that is basically where the axle goes through on the frame. It now has the ability to slide both forward and aft. And what that allows for is as you change tire size, you might want to adjust the geometry of the bike. So with a smaller tire, you can tuck that forward, make the bike handle a little more quickly, or if you want it more stable, you can slide this back and fit up to that 45mm 700C wheel into the frame. Another neat thing to mention is this frame has a total weight capacity of 275 pounds. So that means rider and gear. So depending on what you weigh, that will allow for quite a bit of gear to go with you. So if you wanted to do a bike packing adventure or even carry some extra stuff on a long gravel ride, you definitely can. So let's jump into some of the specs on this bike. So the ALR 5 means that this is going to come with Shimano's GRX 11-speed drivetrain. So it's got the GRX RX 810 rear derailleur, which is a clutched rear derailleur, meaning when you turn the clutch on here, it's going to help keep the chain tension quite a bit tighter, so you're not going to get noise or rattling as you go down the trail. It's going to be able to run up to a 34-tooth cassette in the back, which is exactly what comes with this bike. So we've got an 11 to 34-tooth range out back. And then it's going to go up to the GRX RX 600 crankset. This is going to have 46-30 chainring combination, which means that this is a subcompact, so a little bit lower gearing than what you would get on a traditional road bike. But that makes sense because you're going to want this bike to be able to have traction going up loose and slippery climbs, as well as with those fatter tires, the outside diameter is a little bit bigger, so you don't need quite as high of a gear. Going up to the handlebar, we're still going to have the 11-speed GRX shifters. Now these shifters are the RX 600, which means they're going to operate hydraulic 2-piston calipers, and they make for a pretty nice feel. So it's got good lever fit to it. The hood size is not super huge. That's a nice upgrade on the newer 11-speed stuff from Shimano. And the inside button here is going to bring you to harder gear, and the whole lever is going to bring you to an easier gear. So that's operating those GRX 2-piston calipers, which are stopping on 160 millimeter rotors, both front and rear. I should also mention while we're down here, the front is a 12 by 100 millimeter through axle, and the rear of the bike on that horizontal sliding dropout is going to be a 12 by 142, meaning this runs the standards of pretty much all the gravel bikes out there, meaning wheels and things like that are going to be easy to come by. Cockpit uses a Bontrager Elite ISOZone handlebar. This is their VRCF shape, which means it's going to have a 93 millimeter reach from the bar to the shifter. It's going to have a 123 millimeter drop. So this is sort of a middle position handlebar, so not short and shallow, but also not out there and stretched out. The stem is going to be a Bontrager Elite stem, which is going to be aluminum 31.8, and it has a spot to be able to run their blender setup, which allows you to mount a computer, lights, Garmin, stuff like that, all integrated into the stem. Going back to the saddle, this is going to be Bontrager's Verse saddle. This is the P3 version with steel rails mounted up on an aluminum 27.2 seat post. Going into connecting to the road, we've got Bontrager's GR1 comp tires. These tires are going to be 700 by 40 C width, so nice wide tires on them. And unfortunately, they're not tubeless ready, which is unfortunate, but the nice thing is you can upgrade those. And because the wheels on the bike are Bontrager's TLR wheels with 28 holes, you can run tubeless on the wheels. So all you would need is a new set of tires, some sealant and valves, and you could get this bike upgraded. So now that we've taken a look at the features and designs of this bike, let's go ahead and place it on a scale, and we'll see what this bike comes out and weighs. The actual weight for this Checkpoint ALR 5 in a size 54 centimeter is going to come in at 22.24 pounds. Well, thanks so much for watching this video on the 2021 Trek Checkpoint ALR 5. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this bike. Also, how do you love this purple abyss? I'll tell you what, in person, it is just downright gorgeous. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this in the future.